Welcome to 100 Yards Football this evening as we break down our NFL draft prospect, and his name is Najee Harris, running back out of the national champions, the Alabama Crimson Tide. If you like the video today, please comment and share it. I'm your host, Vincent Turner, and joining me is the very talented, the #1 high school football coach in the state of Georgia, the University of Alabama's #1 fan. It's very difficult for me to mention that this evening because he's being very kind before our pre-show meeting. He didn't even mention about Alabama winning the national championship, and they did win it convincingly last Monday night over the Ohio State Buckeyes 52-24. So what we're going to do this evening, we're going to break down one of the cohorts of the top offense in the country. He's a very special player out of San Francisco, California, my man, Mr. Najee Harris. So if you like the video this evening, please comment and share it. As my man, Kevin the Bull Jones, is going to tell you why Najee Harris is going to be the first back off the board in the 2021 NFL Draft. How you doing this evening, Coach Jones?
Hey, Vincent, it sounds so good when you say national champion Alabama Crimson Tide. I don't mind you saying that again. It sounds real good when you say that. It just rolls off your lips. We back to the status quo, Vincent. We national champions. The cream rises to the top. The thriller in the Manila, Mr. Excitement, Mr. Pandemonium, the great Crimson Tide football program. We back at the top. Justice prevails. We back into our normal setting. You can say it again if you want to, because it sounds good when you say it. I might not be able to say it as great as you say. National champions.
Okay, let me say it one more time. The 18th time.
There you go, 18.
National champions out of Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Leonard Skinner, Roll Tide, the University of Alabama.
That sounds even better, man. Hey, that's music to my ears. I'm telling you right now, it was great to be able to look at that game, and now we're in a situation where, because when you have such a great season, great staff, great coaching, all the stars align the proper way. And the biggest thing about it, Vincent, is it's good to be able to look at success and the process of success, and enjoy seeing how the fruits of labor that are earned through hard work of men being away from their families, long coaching hours, Coach Saban going down himself with the COVID, several coaches on the staff, some of the players, the injuries that happened in the game, Jalen Waddle and things of that nature, and still be able to persevere through everything that happened in college football this year. And everybody that watches this show would definitely agree. This was truly unlike any other season of college football. They know, their parents know, their grandparents know. So it's great to see that it ended well. And yes, everybody in America got a chance to see what it likes to have success from the beginning to the very end. And it worked on the offensive side of the ball and the defensive side of the ball. Vincent, when the season started, everybody was ready to run Pete Golden out of town, the listeners, or people that are fan, or they're Bama fans. Everybody was mad about the defense. But at the end of the day, it was time to realize that those young kids needed to mature in what they did, and they did it to the best of their ability against some of the top competition in the nation. So my hat's off to what success looks like, even through the adversity that we went through this year.
Okay, so what you need to do, and please do what you do very, very well at a high level. And all the Alabama players over the last 10 years that's went into the NFL draft, you need to tell the world why Najee Harris is going to be the first back off the board in 2021, the NFL draft.
I'm glad you asked that. Listen up, sports fan. I'm going to tell you why. And I got a chance to talk to this young man before, when I've been down there at the coaching clinics and things of that nature, and the smile and the personality that goes along with his athleticism on the field. So here are the key contributors to why he's going to be the first back that comes off. Okay, he's 6'2", 230 pounds, runs a 4.45. He's been clocked at a 3.7 on the shuttle by Brad Lester, who's the famous running back guru, sprint guru, I call him. out of Atlanta, Georgia. And he also has great vision. He has awesome durability. He can deliver a blow. He can take a blow. But more importantly, his agility in traffic. You know, he has something that nobody else his size, not even Derrick Henry when he came out to the draft. But Najee Harris has a spin move, Vincent, that is awesome and it's hard to deal with any defensive back that is trying to hit him and break, any linebacker that tries to break down in the hole and hit him. He has an awesome spin move that's unparalleled by any running back in the nation at 6'2", 230 pounds. And of course, he has this uncanny ability to leap over defenders that try to go for his legs. Usually the defensive backs try to cut his legs out. Well, he'll hurdle right over them. And even though that's not a continuously done thing in the NFL, those defensive backs, those grown men in the NFL know that he'll do that. You know, it hurts. But here's the thing. When you're just as big as the defensive backs and or bigger than the defensive backs and linebackers that are chasing you, you have this propensity to do extraordinary things on a Sunday afternoon around 1 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And the greatest person that comes to mind is Derrick Henry, who is also from Alabama, who's been able to amass so many yards rushing in the short time he's been in the NFL. And he has this unbelievable stiff arm that has been trademark of his through the years, a la Walter Payton, you know, the stiff arm of Derrick Henry. Well, guess what? Najee Harris has the spin move. He has the hurdle. He can drop a shoulder on you and run through you. He can run around you. He can do all of those things. And he's a big back. Yes, there are other backs that are very good in the that are coming out in the draft. Travis Etienne is very good. Chuba Hubbard is very good. Javonte Williams at UNC is very good. But none of them stand 6'2", 230 pounds. Okay? They walk around weight is 230 pounds and they're running through people, around people, over people, and spinning around people. So however you want. His longest run from scrimmage this year was 53 yards. Okay, 24 rushing touchdowns, 30 touchdowns altogether on the season. And the last thing I want to say, Vincent, is in the big games, he was a big-time player. That, to me, means more than anything else. Nothing against the other guys, but, you know, I watched, you know, your durability means everything. You know, Travis Etienne got hurt on the kickoff, running on the kickoff, you know, carrying the ball. When I look at Najee Harris, he performed to the best of his ability on the biggest stage in college football. That, to me, means everything and why he should be the number one running back taken off the boards in the draft.
I tell you that Alabama's put out some great players at certain positions over the years, doing this great run under Nick Saban. And we start in the wide receiver position, Amari Cooper. We know about him, Julio Jones. Quarterback position over the years, Blake Sims, A.J. McCarron. Just some tremendous football players, linebacker Dante Hightower, running back Derrick Henry. But to me, Mr. Harris is probably the best all-around football player they have had offensively. And what I like about him, he comes from San Francisco, California. He was a 5-star running back, but came from a very adverse situation in Richmond, California. The youngest of 5 children raised by a single mother. You know about the story. And for him to come all the way to cross country to play at a program at Alabama where the competition was fierce, and then he waited his turn, I'm very, very impressed with him. What I love about him that I think is going to make him a 10-year back in the National Football League is the hands. The hands. And when you look at it, there's been only a few running backs. They've been able to come into the league and be able to run the ball. But after that 5th or 6th year, they tend to slow down because the pounding has took a toll on them. Well, Mr. Harris, to me, got some of that, I want to say Roger Craig, who played with the San Francisco 49ers, who had 1,000 yards receiving and 1,000 yards rushing. Then he got a little bit of, remember that guy that was in that San Diego offense in the early 80s by the name of Chuck Muncie? What did they have that was so well than everybody else? The hands, being able to come out of the backfield and catch the ball. Mr. Harris, to me, if you look at Alabama's offense from this previous season, they were able to line him in the slot. Yeah. And I saw him not only running by linebackers, but strong safeties couldn't cover. And as you said, he's got the combination that all great backs have: power, speed, the power. You mentioned Walter Payton, but Jim Brown, Earl Campbell, Larry Zunker, put all the power to him because he's a guy that can run between the tackles. But what's really special to me that makes him, I think, the best running back to come out of Alabama, his ability to come out the backfield and catch the ball and be able to run routes. To me, he's the best running back in Alabama history. You mentioned the production, 46 career touchdowns, over 3,800 yards. And this is a young man that waited his time. Could have came out last year and probably could have went in the end of the first round. But he elected to stay. And you saw what happened. He had a great season. But most of all, I did a video this morning on Caleb Farley, the cornerback out of Virginia Tech. And it was something that Mr. Farley said that I see in Najee Harris. And you can relate to this because you're a coach at a high level. Mr. Farley said, to be great, you got to be coachable. That's what I see in Najee Harris. And that's why he's had a great career at the University of Alabama, and I see great things. Final words on Mr. Harris this evening. Coach Kevin the Bull Jones.
Well, you Vincent, you named some really good running backs from the past. I also want to add LaDainian Tomlinson because of his ability to run routes and catch balls out of the backfield. Just unbelievable. Hall of Fame, of course, as well as Emmitt Smith. You know, people just don't talk enough about Emmitt Smith and what he did and his contributions. People thought it was the system he was in, but nevertheless, he was a great running back with awesome durability and toughness. Here's what Najee Harris has to look forward to. He's been in an offense that has been a zone read offense. Okay, so he could be a zone back. He can be an inside runner, zone back. That's one of those inside zone plays where you one cut and you're in the line of scrimmage up to the second level. Okay, or he can be an outside zone running back. Okay, where he's trying to get to the edge, and you're trying to turn that corner. Them tight ends hook those defensive ends on the outside, or you can turn around and be a power back, a la what the Tennessee Titans did this year, and you just power back with Derrick Henry, one back set, or 12 or 13 personnel, meaning one running back, three tight ends, or one running back, two tight ends with 12 personnel. So Najee Harris has the ability to do that as well. Okay, so that makes him a different kind of person to have to defend as a defensive coordinator, because he's one of those running backs that doesn't have to come off the field. And when he doesn't come off the field, Vincent, that means that in a passing situation, if a team goes empty set, which means there's nobody back there but the quarterback, and you have two receivers or three receivers, and you have a running back, two running backs, or should I say four receivers and a running back, Najee is now out in the route. And when Najee lines up to run a route at 6'2", 230 pounds, he's able to get around the number 5 defensive back that's in the game. That's usually the nickel cover kid. Okay, or he goes up against a linebacker. And as we saw in the semifinal game, as well as the national championship game, he's going to beat those guys every time on his route running. So what do you have to defend? You have to defend someone that does not have to come off the field. And here's the key. In all high school, college, NFL coaches, defensive guys know a lot of times offensive teams can tell you what they're about to do according to the personnel that comes on the field in between plays. They can tell you if it's run or pass according to the personnel. But however, if no one comes off the field, you don't know what the play could possibly be. You just lost a third of the ability to be able to defend that play that's coming up. And that is the key part about watching Najee Harris play. He can do any and above. He can do all of those things. Unfortunately, the way the football is now, because everybody wants to score the points, everybody wants the quarterback, everybody wants the receivers. Some people feel like you can plug and play any person's at running back. I disagree, because I know from playing from the defensive side of the ball, I don't want to hit a running back 6'2", 230 pounds. I'd rather get the little scat back. Okay, I'll probably live a little longer in the league if I don't have to hit somebody so big. But when he's in the game, he changes all of that. So where do I think he could possibly go in the draft, Vincent? I can tell you right now, a lot of things going to shake out real soon here with those top 4 picks. But look for certain teams to look for a big back. You have the Jets at 23. You have Carolina at 8, even though Carolina might not feel like they need a back. But if you have Christian McCaffrey and you have Najee Harris in the backfield together, McCaffrey can turn around. Some of these players are not every down players. Okay. Point of reference. Watch how Alvin Kamara now plays when he's the feature back. He doesn't have the same fluidity and impact as when he had Ingram, he had Murray back there in the backfield with him. He's a different back when he can come off the field and rest a little bit and then come back in and make a play. Same thing for Najee Harris. Look for the Steelers at 24. Look for the Jets at 23. Possibly take him in the draft. I think he's first rounder.
That being said, if you like the video this evening, please comment and share it. We surely appreciate it. Hats off to Najee Harris, running back out of the University of Alabama. Thank you to Coach Kevin the Bull Jones, the #1 high school coach in the state of Georgia. We'd love for you to enjoy the video. One more time to the Alabama Nation. Congratulations on your national championship and your great season. And to probably the greatest college football coach that's ever done them up, my man, Mr. Nick Saban. So enjoy the rest of the evening. God bless. And my final words, I'm going to say real sweet and real quietly. Roll Tide. Y'all have a blessed day.